Hey everyone, it's 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗓 here. I am your host for this amazing masterclass. I am super excited to talk about how to overcome fear, to putting yourself out there in the online world. I'm just going to wait for a few minutes so I can see that everything is working well and that you can hear me. And, if you are online, please say hi. Please, just going to put the volume up a little bit here. Please introduce yourself and let me know where you are tuning in. If you are live, I would love to hear from you. Please ask me any questions. At the end, I left a little bit of time for us to talk about, maybe if you have like a specific situation, that kind of the fear is consuming you, a very, very particular situation. And I would love, there was a bird there. I don't know if you guys saw. There's plenty of birds behind here. Let me know if you are watching, #live, where you're watching from. And again, please feel free to ask me any questions. But this is an amazing, and very fascinating subject, I would say, because, I have gone through that myself and I can speak from experience. You probably, guys, if you are here in my group, that, most of my learnings are from my own experience. I never really speak about things that it doesn't, it kind of I didn't really feel and I didn't really live through it. And this is why for me it's so important to, still live up to my habits each day, because this is my message. I know what is possible to go from, the sickness to health, to the emotional numbness and being lost, to feeling emotionally, balanced and centered. And professionally, I had to heal my life too. This wasn't about, making money. This was about healing my professional life, which was the last part of the healing I had to do in my journey. And for me, it was very, very apparent that if I didn't heal that part of my life, I wasn't going to be able to feel completely healed. I needed to really tackle that as seriously as I tackle my physical health and my emotional health. So, and for me to really heal my professional life, I needed to let go of the fear. And I just want you to kind of really imagine this kind of scenario, like I had spent a whole year looking after myself at home by myself mostly. I had never been on social media, like nowhere, no Facebook, no Instagram, no YouTube, nada. And I came out after surgeries and after going through 12 sessions of chemotherapy, feeling stronger than I started physically and emotionally. And I kind of thought to myself, and I was told by my doctors, hey, Angelica, go back to the normal world and live your normal life. And after you go through something like this, I don't know if you're watching this and if you have gone through something like that, it is pretty daunting to think that, you can just like cruise along and skip along and go back to your normal life after, going through this kind of really life-changing experience for a whole year. So what I did is, slowly I went back to my corporate job because that's what I was that was my plan. And I wanted to go back to some sort of normality in my life. And I was very lucky that they allowed me to work part-time. But I had all of this knowledge that I had acquired, all this kind of, really deep desire inside of me to shake people up. As I realized that most people were abusing their health, they were not doing anything about it. They were patching up all the issues that they were coming with, like Band-Aids, with magic pills. And they were hoping and they were thinking that they were going to get away with it. But I wasn't on social media, so I thought to myself, I'm going to put my message out there. I kind of knew that having a website was something from the dark ages. And if you are, waiting for you to launch online or to put yourself out there, because you need a website, I am going to tell you right now, stop doing that. Having a website these days is really not necessary. That was just some sort of like, it's like a white noise, something to get you distracted from your objective. There is plenty of people out there that are making over $1 million without a website. But anyway, back to my journey. So, I started, realizing that I needed to be on social media, but I kind of didn't know, like, I really didn't want to join Facebook. I really I didn't see the point of it. I just kind of thought, oh my God, like people spend so much time like looking at other people's pictures, and looking at other people's lives. Like, I don't want to be that person. I have to look after myself. I've got kids. I've got a family. I'm now back at work. How am I going to do this? And I don't want to get distracted with something that it's not going to add anything to my life. So for me, was a massive roadblock. I did not want to join social media. I didn't see the point in it. And I kind of like hit a wall. In the meanwhile, I was back at my corporate job and I was trying to find myself again, and I felt incredibly unfulfilled. And I started really, trying to kind of change a little bit my role at, my corporate company, and trying to see if I could find myself again, and I kept feeling unfulfilled. So I came across, Tony Robbins, which, if you're here, we probably have met in one of his groups, one of his challenges. He's amazing. And it was through an email list. I received his email list, and, there was a training from Tony Robbins. I didn't even know who Tony Robbins was, right? And that was in 2019. I didn't know who Tony Robbins was. I had never heard of him. And I came across him, and this training spoke about, helping people to start their online business. So that's when I had to really overcome my first biggest fear. One was that if I bought that course, I needed to join Facebook because there was a group on Facebook. And two, I had to invest on myself. So it was really, 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 again, like a pivotal moment for me, because I kind of, found myself, right, I really need to make a decision now. I really need to, put myself out there in social media, as in I need to join this group, and I need to really embrace this new venture, and I need to invest on myself. And that was really important, because that started me thinking that, am I going to go all in on this? Or am I always going to have this kind of plan B thing, which was staying in my corporate job? When you have a plan B, it distracts you from plan A. And what I've learned is that, all the time, I had that kind of part-time corporate job thing that was distracting me from focusing on my plan A, which was having my business. So by investing on myself, I started making a small commitment to my goals, to my purpose, to starting my online business. So I invested like a $2,000, very, small amount of money, $2,000 on this course, and I joined Facebook, and did the course twice. It was a very lengthy course, lots of videos, and I knew nothing about social media. Like, I would literally struggle to make a post. Never been on it. I found Facebook incredibly not user-friendly. I couldn't get my head around it. And, there was this massive block around, I'm not tech savvy. How am I going to be able to do this? I didn't even know how to add a story. It was a major learning curve for me. So, if you're at home thinking like, oh, I can't do this because I'm not tech savvy. I can't do, I've tried doing this and it hasn't worked. I have been through that. If you're seeing like my posts and my stories, I didn't start there. In 2019, I joined Facebook. And when I joined Facebook, I realized the whole world lived on Facebook and I was the only person who wasn't there, right? And that was kind of like, wow, this is like another world, right? Like people are like spending hours and hours on Facebook, and the only way for me to really spread my message and share my message, it is if I am online. Not with like a cat picture or a dog picture or like, a picture that people can't even see who I am on my face, but like the real me. The more I spend time on Facebook, I realized that people that were becoming successful were people that were showing who they really were. People were putting their faces out there. But again, remember, I did not start there. I was shit scared. Like, I can't tell you, when I first joined the group, only the group, and I didn't make any posts, I didn't do anything, and I kept saying like, what if, I don't want to, these friends to know that I'm doing this, what about if I make, my posts like selective for only a group of people to see? What if I can somewhat like control, like who I accept all the time? And what if I don't, if I put a different surname, like my husband's name? I mean, I thought about it all, right? I thought about it all. So if you are here and if you are in that place thinking like, I'm really worried about what people are going to think of me, if I'm starting putting myself out there, I worry about what they're going to think about my, my pictures, about myself and my body and my story and, and all of that. All I can tell you is we have all been there. People that have started, if you started and you are looking at somebody and you go like, oh my God, they're so confident, they're so brave, they're so courageous. They did not start there. No one does. So you need to acknowledge where you are and you need to go, okay, so where am I at? I am scared to put my profile picture on. A picture where people can see me, who I am. Okay, so let's work on that. I'm struggling to write a post because I don't know where to start. Okay, well, let's work on that. So really, like, it's acknowledging where you are at and working through that. It's very, very, very important. So I think that for me, like the first lesson was, focusing on not having a plan B and going all in on the plan A. And the start of that was investing on myself. If you don't invest on yourself, guys, like if you're not like, if you keep like around this, like I can't invest, like I'm not getting the results that I want and I don't want to invest on myself. I need guarantees, and you keep like stuck in this cycle and you're not getting what you want. I'm sorry to say, but you are not going to get anywhere. I couldn't have started my online business if I hadn't made that first investment. And again, I didn't stop there. An investment of $2,000 will only give you, a $2,000 worth of results, which for me, if I go back into what that gave me, was really giving me the courage to start my online business. That really didn't give me any paying clients or any closer to getting any clients. But was it worth the $2,000? Yes, it was. Because if it wasn't because of that, I wouldn't be here today. So if you're thinking like, oh, I need guarantees, before I spend any money, I need guarantee that it's going to work, or I'm just going to look for a course that, if I spend this money, I'm going to get this money back in a month's time, or I'm going to make $1 million. I mean, that's just insane, and that's crazy. $2,000 is never going to give you a $1 million business. People that are making $1 million, they have spent at least $200,000 on themselves. But again, they did not start there. You need to be realistic on like, okay, I'm going to make an investment on myself, and I'm going to get one, the correlation of this is more investment, is more return. And two, what are you capable of pushing yourself kind of towards to, right? At that point in time, it was very important for me that I invested on myself and committed myself not to having this plan B thing and focusing on my plan A. It was important for myself to have a push for me to start my online business. And I needed that push by putting the money where my mouth is. By saying, I am going all in, I'm investing on myself, and this is what I'm doing. So that course gave me that. So I think it's really, really, really important for you to having the right expectations of when you're investing on yourself. Like if you're investing on yourself, I speak to so many people that tell me, but I'm doing everything. I go on their feed and they've just got cat pictures, and they have just like quotes. That's not showing to the world who you are. That is not saying to people what your message is. People don't know who you are. I speak to lots of people that they can't even put a picture on their profile. How can people trust you? How can people know who you really are? This is not about how you look. This is about, your mission, what you want to do, your purpose. So I think the second, the lessons that I learned is that when I was doing this course and I did it twice, is that I spent an enormous amount of money after I started putting, myself out there with quotes, pictures of my family, with a little, post here and there, is that I kept saying to myself, I need more information. I need to know more. People are never going to come to me because I don't know enough. I'm not a doctor. I need to know more about health. And you keep thinking those thoughts over and over again. And you keep going like a headless chicken from one free thing to another. If you have never invested on yourself. Or like I did, trying to do the same course that I had done like twice. And all you are doing is hiding behind your fear. Giving yourself excuses for not doing what you really want to do. Which is simply put yourself out there, put your story out there, and being brave and courageous to doing so. So again, if you are hiding behind this statement that people are not going to listen to you, who am I? Like why? There's so many coaches out there. Why would people resonate with me? Again, when you look at people that are becoming successful, people that are successful, they did not start there. If you are not prepared to stop all the white noise, is stop like lying to yourself to say, oh, I'm doing things, I'm busy. Now, like I said at the beginning, I am going to tell you where I have been. So you hopefully learn from it and don't go through the same mistakes that I did, right? So in that, I need to learn more, I need to know more thing. I started a podcast, a YouTube channel, and I started getting busy with my website. And I started getting busy with all of these like distractions and this white noise and going from one free webinar to another. And I didn't have enough time. I kind of almost lost like my sense of direction, because there was so many things going on that I lost my sense of direction of what I needed to do each day to get closer to my goals, which was to helping people. So guys, this is really, really, really important. Like, you need to kind of have a reality check on yourself and say, what am I doing each day? Is this getting me closer to helping somebody? When I talk about helping somebody, and we can talk about money here and say, like, I need to get a paying client. It's not only that. Trust me, I will help you for free. When you help people for free, they don't value or help. So those people are not going to be helpful in your journey. People who invest on themselves, they are ready and committed to the changes. I speak to people all the time. Their health, it's like it's beyond bad. They're on express train to not a very long life. And as soon as we talk about money, they say, no, actually, I'm going to try doing it myself. And they haven't done anything for the last 10 years, the last 5 years. I don't want to work with people like that. I want to work with people who are willing to change, who are willing to invest in themselves. There is a direct correlation of people who invest in themselves. They are invested on the changes. Let's face it takes an enormous amount of energy, right? And an enormous amount of effort. And what happens is when you are like in a big group, like a massive group like I was, like the Tony Robbins thing, is that you can just hide behind the scenes and keep busy with like, I need to know more information. I'm just going to watch this live and that live that they're doing. They're helping me. I'm not saying that it's not helpful, but you can hide behind your fear. And don't tell me that you're not doing that, but unless you're putting yourself out there, this is exactly and precisely what you're doing. I have been there. I have done that. I am talking about my own experience. I have been there. This is not somebody else's story. This is my story. So you can make a choice. You can either learn from it, take what serves you, and leave the rest behind. But I have been there. All of these thoughts that you need more information, that you need to know more, is literally your fear trying to control you because you're too scared to put yourself out there. Being busy with activities that are not getting closer to you to meet your ideal client, meaning the person who is prepared to spend the money, the time, and the effort to change. So those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. So that was really, really, important for me to kind of, like when I started seeing that I was just busy with all this white noise and things that were not getting me anywhere closer to my goal, I realized that I needed to, it got to the point that I was so overwhelmed and lost. And that's when I had to acknowledge to myself that I did not know what I was doing because I wasn't getting the results that I wanted. Again, that is such a brave and courageous thing to admit. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't admit that. It's very, very easy to get caught up in this little hamster wheel and going, no, but I can figure it out on my own. Another 6 months pass, another year pass, and you get exhausted and tired and overwhelmed and you are not getting anywhere. So that's when my kind of third lesson came in. I had to stop all this white noise and, realize that I was doing those things to protect me because I did not want to put myself out there, and that I really needed to invest on myself again. The whole investment on myself thing was huge for me. I had never done that. I had never been on self-development, and I had a massive issue around scarcity mindset, and I kept asking myself, but do I have to invest again? like how, am I going to get any kind of guaranteed results? Am I going to get like anything out of this? Like, how is this going to work? But then I would always go back to the real truth, which was, Angelica, you have tried for the last 6 months and nothing has worked. So I stepped out of my comfort zone and I invested on myself again. And there was another small investment of $2,000, but in a group, is much smaller group coaching. And that's in that smaller group coaching, again, the correlation between the results, and the investment. I finally got some paying clients that wanted to change, and I saw them making some shifts. And that really helped me to see what was possible. But I also saw, by observing the entrepreneurs that were with me in that group, that most people were dragging themselves to the ground. They were exhausted, they were depleted. They were emotionally, like, not in a very good place, stressed out to the bone. And they were struggling big time. So that's when I anchored my purpose even more. And for me, when you ask me, was that worth the $2,000? Yes, it was. Because I realized that my purpose, it was important. It was important for me to keep spreading my message of health and wellness, to keep spreading my message that people needed to solve their physical and emotional issues if they wanted to create a new life. And that gave me more confidence in what I wanted to share. So I started sharing my story a little bit more, in more detail, how I felt before cancer. What it was like to grow up, my patterns, my emotional patterns. I started going deeper. And the more I started sharing, it was almost like if all of a sudden, like with each post I wrote, I healed even deeper. It became less about me and it became more about what other people wanted to hear as well. I started thinking to myself, oh my God, if I told them that, they would recognize that in themselves. As a result of that, I was in so much suffering before cancer. So from going, from quotes and family pictures and sharing a little bit of my story, I started getting more confident in sharing more the true me, on my posts. And the more I shared, the more I realized that people started resonating with my story. Because let's face it, guys, most entrepreneurs, I speak to people every day. They are in a lot of suffering, physically and emotionally. They are fooling themselves into this money-chasing thing while they are letting their health being dragged on the back kind of burner. And they are thinking they are going to get away with it. So my message, all of a sudden was more clear. I was more anchored in my message and I had more certainty. And that was worth my investment. But I want you to really pay attention, like these small shifts that I had to make in my journey. And that's when, it was really important to realize that this whole professional healing thing, it was the same way as my emotion, my physical healing. It was by taking small steps that I was getting results. People think that they need to tomorrow open their profile up, put their bikini pictures on and tell everyone their worst secret. You don't have to do that tomorrow. You don't even have to tell them your worst secrets. You tell them what you want to tell them. But people are a little tired of 3 kilos of makeup, hair done, and, people like posing pictures and telling them, yesterday I started my business and today I'm making $1 million. People are a little tired of that. People are looking for authenticity, people being authentic, right? People are looking for people who are telling the truth. So you need to ask yourself, am I prepared to speak my truth? Putting yourself out there, it is speaking your truth, but you are the decider. The beautiful thing about having your online business is that you are the one who makes the decision. You don't work for anyone. You can write a post, and if you don't like it, you can delete the post. If you get a bad comment, you can delete the comment. You can block that person. It doesn't really matter. Like, you can do whatever you want. You are the CEO of your business, of your life, and of your actions. But there is definitely a trend in the world nowadays. People want to connect with real people, not like to, perfection or, magic pills, or things that happen overnight, because people know that doesn't happen. So I think that is really important to, if you are scared, like, to start putting your story out there, that you don't have to do everything overnight. If you're starting to compare yourself, like, oh, but look at this person, like, they are, they write, some really good posts, and I did not start there. That person probably did not start there either. Start where you are, but most importantly, start. Acknowledge where you are at, so you can move from that point on. Stop hiding, stop going around this vicious circle of feeling overwhelmed, not having structure on what to focus on the wrong things, trying to focus on everything and not focusing on anything. This is all about you hiding behind your fears. If I told you today, okay, that's fine, I will do everything else for you, your housework, your kids, whatever. All you've got to do is to put yourself out there every single day, day in, day out. Would you do it? Or what other excuses would you be coming up with? So you need to start really, challenging you and giving you some real reality checks. And when you are in a group of 20,000 people, like group program, it's very easy for you just to be hiding on there. I need more information. I'm not sure what to do, but I'm busy and I'm doing this, that, and the other, but you're not getting any results. So really being true to yourself is very, very important. So that was, guys, a really, really important lesson for me to, making that investment on myself, on that group, and so I could anchor my message, so I could feel more confident in my journey, and I could start, focus on what I really wanted to do, which was to help people and write messages that would resonate with people. Because I know that if I didn't write my truth, which was like, the amount of suffering there was before cancer, how would people even recognize in themselves that they were in that amount of suffering too? Because I didn't. Before cancer, I thought I was okay. I thought it was, I thought it was okay to live exhausted all the time. I thought it was okay to be emotionally broken. I didn't even think about this. I just kind of, when, an emotion came up and I felt like, oh, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm sad, I just thought I'll brush it off and keep going. But if I could write them about how I really felt, they might recognize in themselves and might go, wait, I feel like this and I don't want to feel like that. Before it was too late. Like with myself, before they got a daring diagnosis. So that really kind of got me back on track and got me back on focusing on, my mission and what I wanted to do. And, and I realized that also I needed to take some small steps. In a smaller group of entrepreneurs, I saw people that were starting, people that were too scared putting themselves out there, people that perhaps had more credentials than I did in the, kind of normal world. They were still too scared to put their message out there. People that couldn't keep the consistency because they were exhausted. This is something that I often talk about on my sales calls with entrepreneurs. If you are going to leave your health behind you and you're just going to be pushing and pushing every day, I just need more tools. I just need to do more. I need to work harder. I need to work 12 hours a day. I'm sorry to say, but you're going to burn out. And when you burn out, you're not going to be able to keep the consistency. And when you don't keep the consistency, the money is not going to come in. I have seen a trend that successful entrepreneurs, they can keep one thing, and it's the consistency. And you can't do that if you don't have physical energy and if you don't have emotional energy or emotional balance. So guys, I think this is really, really, important, some important lessons here for you to think about, where you are at with your journey. Are you holding on to the fear? And, now remember that, second investment, me asking myself, I am lost, I'm overwhelmed, I don't know what to do, and I'm hesitant to invest on myself. And I kept thinking to myself, okay, well, what's the alternative? The alternative is going back to corporate. And that made me sick to the stomach. Going back to corporate was literally, I kind of felt physically sick. I kind of felt like I can't do that. I can't go back to corporate. I was so unhappy. And just to backtrack a little bit there, I tried doing the whole part-time in business for the whole year. I tried really hard to kind of see if I could find myself again. And when I left last year to go all in, it was really this decision that I made to go all in and not to have a plan B. But every time that I needed to invest on myself was another confirmation of, are you all in or not? It was life testing me. Are you all in or not? If you think that it's just going to be a smooth operator thing, like that you're just going to, buy a $2,000 course and just make $1 million and get all the clients coming to you, or put your posts out there, every day, and people just going to come to you, hey, I'd love to work with you. It doesn't work like that. It does require a lot of discipline, a lot of determination, a lot of passion, a lot of mindset work every day, day in, day out, a lot of physical strength, day in, day out. A lot of redirecting yourself and connecting to yourself with the real purpose of what you're trying to do. And, I feel blessed because cancer taught me, this is a second opportunity for you to live. How do you want to live your life? So I want to ask you today, let's say if you've got the fear of the fear of failure, fear of putting your message out there, the fear of what other people would think, the fear of, telling your whatever you want to, you think that you need to tell people. So you have all this in one side. And then you have on the other side yourself and a decision to make. Do I want to listen to my fear and never put myself out there because of all of those things and go back to corporate and be happy? Or do I want to confront my fear, acknowledge, process, and push myself daily to doing the right actions? Not to get busy with the white noise, not to get busy with the next shiny object, but to actually do things every day to put my real self out there. It's a choice. It's a decision that only you can make. The fear is always going to be there. It's going to be, the first will be the fear to put my picture. The second will be the fear to put my post. The third will be the fear of what other people think. The next would be The fear of, oh, I get a client now. Are they gonna get the results they want? The next would be a fear of, there's always gonna be a fear. But it's what you do every day to work on your mindset and redirecting your thoughts and doing the right things each day that are going to get you closer to living your purpose. When I talk about living your purpose, I'm not talking about like you need to have this like light bulb moment and you need to know exactly what you're doing. I did not know exactly what I was going to do. I started with wanting to help people through cancer treatment, because I knew that if they did what I did, they would finish chemo feeling stronger than they started, like I did. And my husband, who watched me and who knows me very well, told me from the beginning, not many people in the world are going to be able to do what you did, because you have a determination that not many people have. And I should have listened to him from day one. But I said, no, but I need to help people. Can you imagine if everybody, could just finish chemo like I did? They could change their whole life. And he kept saying, this is just, it is somewhat an illusion that people are going to do what you did. And then one day when I left my job, I had this epiphany. And I thought to myself, I don't want to help people during chemo. I want to help people before they get there. The old version of myself, the person who was oblivious, that she was dragging herself to the ground so much that she almost lost her life. She almost left her children. She almost died. I want to help that person. Because guess what? Most people that I speak to, they are in the exact same place. This is why they attract to my message. Because I speak my truth. And I don't want anybody to go through what I've been through. The physical pain, the emotional pain, the fear of dying, the fear of leaving my family. So guys, I didn't have it all figured out from day one. I've changed and I've evolved, and I will continue to evolve, because I'm prepared to put my hand up and say, I am not getting the results that I want now, so what will I do different? Or I am coming across an obstacle now, so what will I do different? Since then, I invested on high-ticket coaching, a lot more on myself. And it wasn't until then that I started getting paying clients that want to invest on themselves, clients that are prepared to do the work. Again, don't focus on the money. There is some people that they might want to give you the money, but they're never going to do the work. And I can tell you right now, they're going to be a pain in the ass client. You need people that want to do the work. And they're not going to make you fulfilled. When I talk about living your purpose, I'm talking about what are you going to do every single day that you enjoy, that you love. Now, I tried finding that passion again in my corporate job, and I couldn't find that. So now, what I have now is I wake up and I'm excited about doing what I do, talking to clients, helping them, messaging them, supporting them with this system, the stuff that I have, my program, where I support them, I keep them accountable, and I hold their hand for 3 months. Again, I did not start there. Those first clients that I had, I didn't have a structure program. I didn't have any structure around it. But I delivered, to my best ability to help them where they were at. And I did everything I could to help them make the shifts that they needed to do. So if you're waiting to have everything figured out, and I get so many people telling me, but I just need to, work on my course content, or work on my program content, or work on my, my notes, or what exactly I want to say. This is all white noise. Don't wait until you're ready. Just do what you can right here, right now. Do the exact thing that you are ready and prepared to do, and stop thinking that you somehow need to be completely ready to put yourself out there. That is the fear talking to you. Now, I'm going to leave you with this question today, and tomorrow we're going to be talking about the unshakable decision that you make each day to taking action that will get you closer to your goals. But today I'm going to ask you a question. If you are not putting yourself out there, and if you are full of fear, if it's, fear around putting yourself out there, or fear of investing on yourself, or talking about your message, or not having everything figured out, or that you need more information, that you don't have enough credentials, or whatever it is, I'm just going to ask yourself today, if you had to make a decision in what you're going to do for the rest of your life, would you be happy doing what you're doing today? Would you feel fulfilled in doing the activities that you're doing today for the rest of your life? Don't think about the money. Just think about how you're spending the 8 hours of working hours, or the 8 hours that you're doing each day. Would you be happy doing exactly what you're doing right now for the rest of your life? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's your answer? How does that make you think? What comes to mind when you think about this? This is very, very, very important. When people think about having their own business, they're just thinking look, I can earn this money, I can have this freedom, I can have, all of this. But at the end of the day, you are going to be doing whatever you decide every single day, day in, day out. And are you going to be happy and feel fulfilled? Because if you are not, that is going to affect your health, your physical, your emotional health. If it's not affecting already, right? Like if you are, focusing on activities that are not getting closer to your goal, you're already feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, and you're already resenting the work, and you're already resenting yourself and resenting your situation, circumstance, and it starts this kind of negative, ripple effect that just drags you down and down and down and down. So you need to ask yourself that it's a very, very important question. Am I going to be happy to doing what I'm doing today for the rest of my life? I'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, leave me in the comment, and I will address them tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to be taking how to make unshakable decisions each single day to really get you closer to your goals. Thank you so much, guys. It's 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗖𝗪 here. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.